Yes, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Dr SPUD. I'm Maniacal Mac.
I'm Unsystematic.
And we have quite a mad one today. We don't know too much about it. Once we have said the title of this, you're going to probably be like, have you heard that before? What is this film called?
Dr Caligari.
And it came out in 1989. The original that we were looking at, it was like a 1920 silent film, black and white. Dr. Caligari is based on a character. So this is their version, but based on a trailer, looks nothing like the original. So it looks like they're doing their own thing with it.
Yeah, it's just gone psychedelic and trippy.
That's the main reason we thought, let's give it a go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, if you want to see more Dud or Spuds, go on my Rumble account. There's exclusive ones on there you can check out. So if you are enjoying them and you're interested, check that out. So I say no more, really. Should we just go into this? Because we don't know what to expect. That's why it's not much of an intro. We're like, okay, cool. Yeah. The Caligari, 1989. Looked a bit trippy, as you said, didn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully it's a spud.
We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let's go for this, eh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Be back with you soon.
Peace.
Yes, so we're back after watching Dr. Caligari, the 1989 version. Very different film, this, wasn't it, bro?
you can call it different, yeah.
This one, like usually, as we do on a Dud or Spud, we'll do our best to explain this one, but we're going to kind of explain a little bit of, I guess, a premise and the idea of the film before we go into this, because it's kind of hard to explain it in a way.
Yeah.
Reminded me a bit of like an Eraserhead film where there was a load of weird shit happening. You're like, why is this happening? Some pretty decent effects here and there.
Yeah.
Some good ideas.
Yeah,
but also
psychedelic.
Terrible ideas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You've seen psychedelic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it was like a stage play. It was like, I think it was most of it. It looks like it was filmed on a stage. It looks like generally like a theatre play. Basically, like a theatre performance. A lot of it looks like it's all on the stage, doesn't it?
You're right, bro. Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was different. It was a film, but I'm pretty positive it was all on the theatre, wasn't it? Like, all on a stage, like the majority of the set wasn't it?
Yeah.
So again, we'll try and explain this the best we can, but bizarre film, a very bizarre film, right? That's one thing we're going to say. So it opens up then, like the first thing it kind of opens up with all these patients in a room, and this one woman's got her legs like fucking crossed, and we're like, what the fuck is she doing? And we're like, that's a bit mad. And then, it's got all these patients in the room, and then it comes to Dr. Caligari, and she's doing all this weird kind of like cyborg thing, which I did bring up. I was like, why are they all acting like robots, but never gets mentioned?
No. What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? Okay.
So that's her patience, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I love the shape of the door.
Yeah. All warped and fucked. I'm just waiting for Alice now to fucking come out of the Wonderland. There's going to be so many meanings behind this as me and Joe don't get. And I'll up front say, a lot of this I might come across very ignorant because there's obviously a lot of deeper meanings in this, but I didn't get a lot of it. Only the service level of the whole sexual, because it's very sexual in it. Everything on your, I don't want to give too much away because you'll talk about it, but it's a very sexual, everything they talk about is basically fucking sex, basically.
Yeah, they're injecting hormones.
We'll come into that, right? But so it comes into Dr. Caligari, then goes in, as I say, on a stage, because it's just a fucking woman sitting in a chair looking at a TV, and that's when we're struggling, because there's a woman speaking to her on a TV with a reverb voice. We're like, what?
Didn't understand which the TV said.
Even though I turned the volume up a bit, we could hear everyone else, but then the other woman, you can hear better. So she's watching a TV, and then on the TV, I think there's someone's got like an infection on their leg, and then the woman who's watching it in a towel starts having this like, it's like a big fucking, what do you explain it? It was like a big pulsating mold thing on her leg, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked like pus coming out of it.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, like the Eraserhead / like David Lynch kind of inspiration, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
So then she's like all panicking, starts rubbing it, and then it goes.
I wonder if that's the original.
Good point. Anything black and white might be. God knows, I haven't seen the original.
Yeah.
Didn't understand that. Did you understand that?
I
Like that
didn't
part?
understand it. If there was a meaning behind it, that went over my head.
Over our head. So she goes into another room then, and they do this quite a bit throughout the film when they do a close up of the door, and it's like I'm torn between. It looks like the part on Deadly Premonition, if you ever played that game, when you go through the door into the Red Forest once you've met the two little twins, or the Resident Evil 2 loading screen door.
Yeah,
Couldn't tell which one, but it reminded me of that a
a
bit.
lot of the transitions I was saying are really good in this
Yeah,
film.
you mentioned that, didn't you? Said there
Yeah,
were some interesting transitions in it.
yeah.
So she goes into a room and she's looking at all her pills.
Huh.
So you're like, okay, so she's obviously, highly medicated. And then, yeah, out of nowhere, just gets her towel off and
Oops.
shows two fantastic reasons to why we were enjoying this film, I guess, isn't it? In a sense.
Yeah, sucked us in.
Oh, go on.
Yeah,
Hey, suddenly her performance just got 2 times better, bro.
that's a good set of boobs.
Because she's prancing about in a guy in like a baby-headed mask, doesn't he? Attacks
Oh,
her with a blade.
yeah.
Again, like that never really comes into play later in the film at all. So it starts going into like you think, is this like a slasher film now? It's remind me of a slasher film. So he cuts her leg and she starts crawling her way out. But then she's crawling through like all these patients. So I don't know. She's gone back out of the door, but she's somewhere else. Loads of this shit happens. And there's all these patients on the floor while she's crawling through them. And as she's crawling closer to the end, there's a baby face guy there. And it looks like he's shagging a woman, doesn't he? And you can't see her face. And I called it. I was like, oh, she's going to see herself on the table being shagged. And then when she gets closer to the baby face guy and then looks, she sees it. And then it goes to her and she's the one on the table getting, well, I say smashed. And Nickers is still on, but he's kind of in that position with her, isn't he? So it's implying she's getting smashed, but she starts enjoying it. He's fucking taking ages.
All the women were fit in this film. I got it.
Yeah, that's one thing we will say. They good fucking pick of women,
Yeah,
weren't it? Fair play.
yeah, definitely.
So then she wakes up then. So I was in a dream. She's waking up like she's back in the same area where she was watching TV, but this time she's just in her panties and bra, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
And then the woman's back on TV and they're talking loads about like, orgasms and shit like that, really. And it's very highly sexual shit she's talking about
That's all they talk about.
in this thing. So we're like, all right, then, is this trying to be a softcore porn? What the fuck is this going to be? So then, yeah, she lays on the floor then where the TV is, like, legs spread, TV there. Gets her tits out again. Great. Starts finger blasting herself.
Great.
Goes to town, like straight a finger blast. And we're like, is this a porn now at this stage or what? Like, at this stage, I was expecting the football team to come in and all run through her, like. Oh, bit of finger blasting going on now, is it? That's where she comes into play now because he's like ringing up Caligari and he goes, my wife's not well, you need to see her.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how he gets her.
Right.
So then we're like, okay, so, she like dreaming all this stuff. Is she mad? She's got all these pills. Like, what exactly is wrong with her? We don't fucking fully know it. Like, you know what I mean? Until a bit later in. And that's something we're going to mention. So then, yeah, she's basically brings out the knife the murderer had to her in a dream, and she starts like sort of threatening, which is a bit weird. She's got a phone. He's like, "Hop," and it's just like, what the fuck is going on here? It's really strange the way they're acting. She's like, "Hop," trying to cut him and all that. But he's like, no, darling, I got to take you. And then she just cuts the phone line, doesn't she? After they call.
The scandal. I can't deal with another episode like that.
Perhaps I should prescribe a sedative for you.
Now, just hold on, sister.
He thinks I'm
Right? Sassy bugger.
one look at me and I'll
Why does everything feel like
Buster?
Wait.
you got one take and that's it? Like, you know what I mean?
For God's sake, she's raving. You got me into this, doctor.
She's raving.
My Louis Vuitton believe. Pig snout.
What?
Don't give me tender. You want fresh.
Now, precious, we're having a little relapse. Don't worry, everything's gonna be all right.
What the fuck is going on? Then explain what happened out of nowhere to his face then, bro. Like all them like that
Those
boil...
those boils that came at the start of the film started happening to his face, and his wife was just horny as fuck because of all the therapy she's had of Dr. Caligari.
What?
I see that face and I'm in love, but uh-huh.
What?
Bastard. You lovely.
So at this stage now, he's like, you know, I gotta fucking take you into therapy. He goes to a scene with Caligari. She's speaking to him, and he's basically saying like, you know, she's not well. You need to do the job proper. Some woman just comes up from behind the desk where Caligari is. Weird. Another woman there going cuckoo, cuckoo all the time. Because she's running is it like meant to be a mental ward? She is kind of running. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
it's people with psychological
Yeah.
problems. That's
So there's a lot of weird characters in here, you'll see.
yeah.
Next scene, then it goes to the father of the two doctor guys, and you got all them people in the back, and then they
All the
show
people in the background really cool.
it just stuck like that, where they got their like a velvet thing over them. They look like silhouettes,
Yeah.
and then that's it. All the acting,
Oh, the
weird, isn't it?
introduction to these two, yeah.
Explain the acting and body movements and all
Yeah,
that. bro.
very robot. Well, you mentioned it, very robotic, but it was good. It was like interesting to watch.
But this is where we're going
They're
back.
both like synchronizing with each other. Yeah, just it was like I don't know. It was different. I've never seen anything like it, so I'll give it props for that.
She's worse than incompetent. She's evil.
If you won't listen to us, then watch.
What is that? Just saying, man, not losing my mind. A woman basically had two like dicks with boobs on the end of them coming out of her chest, basically, didn't she?
Yeah,
I call it disgusting.
But this is where we go back to is it was a theatre performance. That's why I
Yeah.
mean, even the movements and all that. It's like they're literally what they've done. They've just done a theatre performance, filmed it, and just I don't know, just turned it into a film. Haven't they? That's what they've done. But everything is like what you'd see in a theatre. That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
all the actions are over the top and purposely done. The deeper meaning of that stuff, I don't know.
maybe it was to show the people are robotic humans. We're just robots. you
Maybe
know.
following commands and just. But
Yeah.
you don't though, do they? That's later in that's
That
what I
was
think.
just
Yeah.
in the film.
So there, they show the father, and they show their concerns going, oh, we don't like Dr. Caligari, all the patients don't like her, we need to get rid of her. And the father's like, no, that's the granddaughter of the original Dr. Caligari, so that's where they bring the whole, all right, here we go. Genius, this whole hospital was built off that name, I won't get rid of him. Then it skips to a guy then who's got his, he's about to get electrotherapy, what was he on, like the death chair thing, innit?
Yeah, it looked like a death chair. Yeah,
He's got like a bone's head. Best actor the whole film. Mad fucking guy.
you
mad
liked him,
film.
didn't you?
Just going on and on. Like I'd say the best actor because like I was like when he's going on, he's doing his little like I say little dialogue, fucking 10-minute fucking dialogue. I was laughing at him and I was like, oh, Joe, I'd love to see this guy like with a shotgun going up against zombies. This guy would be wicked as like a psycho. And then literally the next thing then she starts saying to him, remember all your memories, like after he's getting shot. Because keep in mind, he's going, please shock me, make sure you do it hard. I like it when I sweat, because when it burns, that's when it tastes good. I want to taste my own flesh. He's like proper fucking mad, isn't he, bro? And he
Yeah.
like gets off on like the self-pain. But then Caligari starts showing him like some fucking images of like, you know, dead mutilated bodies. And he's like, oh, it's beautiful, it's lovely and all that. So you're like, oh, this guy is a bit fucking nuts. And then she goes on about his past then, doesn't she? I think she put some images on the wall or something, if I remember right.
Mhm.
And then we have that little fucking flashback then of him with a woman, and then he ends up putting her in a big fucking pot of stew and all that. And I thought that was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah,
That whole scene was pretty hilarious.
that was probably the funniest scene in the film.
Because it showed him being a full-on psycho. I was like, oh, that like best part of the film. I would love, right, to see a film with that guy, that actor there, with a gun, acting as he is, going up against zombies. That'd be wicked.
Yeah, he does need a different role.
Yeah.
Want to be gentle as a lamb pie, but you know the way she wrinkled her.
Is he just gonna chuck her in a pot and cook her?
Like she was thinking. Her face kind of floated on top of the stew, you know, kind of like a lotus
Yeah.
blossom. Seen one on a calendar once. Taters and dumplings and beauty. That's the kind of girl I.
This is my favourite character of the film, easy.
I always sing when I'm making stew. That's the fun part.
That's what I mean, it's all psychotic thing. Good. So that was pretty funny. And then, yeah, it's just indicating really that she's doing some unorthodox techniques to try and better people. And then it goes to the scene then where the guy and his wife, the woman who was finger blasting herself earlier, she got like a metal pole there, and that was when I was like, oh, have you ever seen that little clip which I'll put on here with a guy with crutches like smacking this metal pipe? It just makes me laugh. It reminded me loads of that. Have you ever seen that clip where that guy's got like a rod like that and he starts like like he's on crutches and he starts smacking like a metal thing and he's just in pants?
Oh.
It reminds me so much. As soon as I saw that, that's all I could think of. And it would fit it because it's like that was part of like a theatre art show, and this is definitely that kind of fucking shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then she's just going on about like how she's so fucking wants to be sexual and he can't do nothing for her, he can't get erections. And basically, I think kind of demeaning him in a way, saying you can't do for me what I want. So he goes off in a bit of a hissy fit. And then she goes to open the door. And what's behind the door, Joe? Can you even explain what it is?
It's like an alien flesh with stitches and warts on it, and like chocolate and sweets were coming out of it.
Yes, yeah. Very Cronenberg-esque. It's like, it's hard to explain what it was. It's like, oh, is that like you're going to do a close-up and like indicate at least like a womb of a woman, or no, you can't tell. It's just like a big fucking flesh ring of like a scar down there. That could be the stomach for all you know. Opened like slices, and then the part who's on about is a big thing, and it's like bleeding out what looked like chocolate and sweets, didn't it? And we had a little joke about that, but then the other parts are like pulsating and all that. And we're like, what the fuck? It's like something like a kind of like a Freddy Kruegerish film. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, it's probably the most iconic part of the movie, this.
so explain then, like the fucking one part where there's a little mouth coming through. And what happens when she gets closer to the mouth then? It just becomes big.
Yeah, doesn't she get deep-throated by the tongue? Or
Yeah,
is that...
That's right, yeah. Explain that. Explain that.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's a giant face with lips on the wall.
Just comes out.
Yeah, it just comes out, and I don't know if it's because she's got psychological problems or what, but yeah, it just the tongue just comes out and goes right in her mouth and proper goes for it. It just ravages right down her throat.
Yeah, because he's saying how far can she go, literally, and then it starts growing. She's like, it's like, oh, there we go, like, you know, there's only so much else she can fucking do. And then it turns to something about that fucking big, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then it's like,
cheeky.
and then she's just like, oh, with this huge fucking tongue slapping her, like, and I'm just like, oh, that's just like, how is that sexy in any way, or even like resembling sexiness? It looks goofy as fuck. It looked really fucking stupid. And then she starts getting her tit out, like, fine, no problem. But then, yeah, it's this huge tongue, and she's just like supposed to be getting seduced by it. And I was just thinking, man, like that'd be one of the quickest ways to make me fucking go soft. There's no way I'd be fucking attracted to that shit. Like,
no,
like Freddy Krueger licking you. You know, I've seen it like in Nightmare on Elm Street where Freddy Krueger's tongue comes out the phone, like that. Like, nah, you're right, mate. What's that supposed to even be?
Oh, wicked. It looks like chocolate and
Yeah,
sweets.
like sweets in it. Like, yeah, that's quite appetizing though. It's like a Freddy Krueger film now, mate. Fucking, he's coming out of the wall and then they're getting sucked on the TV.
Go on.
How far is she gonna go now? Jesus.
Deep throating.
What the fuck is this? Like, you're gonna go full in, then just go full in, making a porn in it. Like, why do this?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest, bro. Like, I've been plenty of times in my life I've been horny as fuck. I've never imagined some, I don't know, flesh door with a fucking tongue coming out, because that certainly wouldn't turn me on. I'd be like, nah, I'm right. You know? Won't be going near that. So that happens.
Yeah.
Next scene, then she's fucking just sitting down there. Caligari's like, looks like on a prime minister thing, like she's about to fucking speak in an election. And then the husband guy, not husband guy. At first, it's the guy's a scarecrow, isn't it?
Just saying nothing at all, just observing.
Yeah.
Kind
of again, when I'm kind of pointing the scenes they're talking about, she's like, "You're ill, you need therapy," and all that. And she's like, "I kind of." That's it. And then she goes up to the scarecrow. What's she do to the scarecrow?
Goes to tug him off.
Take
but
bits of straw out.
Yeah, she couldn't find anything. I mean, I think when she got to the goal, it just burns her arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, her arm looked like it was covered in dark chocolate, but it wasn't. It was just her arm was burnt. And eventually it transforms into something which I won't spoil for you.
Just yet.
Yeah.
But basically, it's the quickest form of gonorrhea ever, wasn't it? It's like the second she touched his dick, her arm was burnt. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's like, "Rah!" And then the scarecrow guy's like kind of looking pleased with himself. You're like, fucking mad, like. I'm surprised you start leaking from between her legs.
Yeah.
Like the way this film goes, like a tongue ain't fucking poking out some shit, like.
Twist it like a rubber band until it snaps.
I was literally about to say, hey, if she needed someone to do it, I would. But after that, thank fuck that's not me, like. Twist it till it snaps. You horrible woman. What? What fucking STI did he give her? Is gonorrhea the one that when you piss it burns?
Yeah, I think so.
That is the most fast acting gonorrhea I've ever seen in my life. It literally burnt her arm.
That's it, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that happens. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
Next scene is a lady who never comes back into it at any point. Where I was like, hold on, is she wearing knickers or not? And you were like, no, skin-coloured knickers. And I weren't too sure, like, you know what I mean? And then the two doctor guys, you like we'll call them the couple.
Yeah.
The couple doctor, which we spoke about earlier. They're kind of there, just speaking to her. I think she's just saying, Dr. Caligari, this and that. And they're like, oh, yes, is that? Like, finding more information out that Dr. Caligari's being dodgy. Goes nowhere. And then it goes to the scene then. But Dr. Caligari's with the husband now, who chucked the wife into the ward. And she's got a cake there. And this is the part where we're like, this guy's a bitch. So he didn't put her in there because she was mentally unwell. He put her in there because she had a high libido, because she was very sexual. And we were like, I was like, so let me get this right. When you get married to women, more often than not, their libido goes down. You're like, fucking hell, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on, love? Like, you know, I know we're married. Don't happen. The opposite case happened. Man's dream. No, the woman I married, just as I'm getting older, wants sex more and more. Like, that's a man's dream. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the reason he puts her in there. Because this guy can't keep up with her. So he's a bitch and put his wife in there because she wants sex. So I'm just going to say minus £1,000,000 points to this character.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
The douche of the century.
Pathetic. Like, you got a good woman there. Like, yeah, she's a bit mental, a bit. Like, she's super mental, but you got to take a bit of mental. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
4:15, she's buck naked and squawking for Sinatra. She wants me to pretend I'm Frankie Jr. Well, I'm not, and I never will be. A week ago Tuesday.
I know she is, like, mad, right? But let me get this right. This guy's moaning, and he's married to a woman, and the longer they got married, her sex drive has gone up. 99% of the times you get married, the sex drive of a woman just goes down. And that's why men, like, end up getting unhappy or cheating and shit. He's moaning about a positive. Think about that. Your wife is getting like, oh, I want to fuck you more and more. As time goes on, you're like, yeah, fuck her. You know what I mean?
What a boring cunt.
And but that's his main issue.
Open a window, I'm so...
I would take a bit of crazy if that's how she went. You know, you got her with it. Maybe not to her extent, but...
You don't know how to satisfy your wife.
Yeah.
Probably got a point.
This guy's a loser. That's what I'm saying. He's a fucking total bell, like. So they have a cake. She cuts open a cake, and then what the fuck is the cake starts bleeding? What's that about, Joe? Do you know, like, the meaning of that?
I wish I knew what any of this film was about.
Yeah.
Especially the cake, but I definitely wouldn't eat it because it was just flesh.
Yeah.
It was just flesh inside a cake.
And then all tentacles are coming out at one point. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This is like the Thing. So it said some good effects on the points, so it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one guy who says it to him earlier, he like when he's sitting down here, you see him on his case get like rode out. He goes, just mention that, like. Did you see the thing? The box end he was pulled off on. He was kneeling on.
No, I missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, understand me, the guy's getting grossed out by this. He's like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? So then the guy just comes back, fucking headlocks him, and goes, basically, tough your shirt now, and chucks him into a fucking padded cell then, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he's like, well, you're part of us now. Like, you're going to be a patient here, isn't it? So he's all freaking out and shit. That's actually a really cool effect.
Here comes Uncle Snowy.
What? Here comes out with Snoozy. A lamb's leg or something.
Sheep, yeah, they
Sheep.
call it sheep. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if that had any meaning. Like, you know,
But it's literally, she's not even shaving it. The guy has to shave it and then they're eating it, but they're eating like the
Food.
head's still on the lamb and shit, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the sheep, whatever the fuck they're eating. The one thing I don't get is why are they all moving like the robot dancing and shit along?
I still get misty when I see you handle
What you mean? Well, the last scene.
No, loads of the time, loads of their mannerisms, they'll do like
Yeah.
these weird kind of robot
Yeah, yeah,
mannequin style things randomly.
yeah.
What the deeper meaning of all that was, not too sure. They get then a little letter in a post with a picture of a woman crying in a cell, like with tears, but then, I don't know.
I
They,
don't know
they
neither.
make a comment about how bad art shouldn't be in modern movies. I don't know if that's a throw or diss to anyone. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Then the woman's like likes it on the fridge, opens it, and the husband's head's in, the dad's head's in there, but that is just all in the head. It's not a real thing because it never happened.
Caligari's so obvious, the mind of a shoplifter.
Mind if I have seconds on the sheep tip, dear?
I don't fucking know. That scene was pointless. And then it goes to the couple, and they wake up in bed, don't they?
Yeah.
And then like how he's acting and that was pretty funny, I guess, like the way he's acting. But anything you want to explain about that, really?
They change at this part of the movie. When they like compliant, like really with it,
Well,
they wanted to see the doctor, didn't they?
At this point, I think the woman's going, because they know that people are on to Caligari. Like, I think the woman goes, oh, because time's short now, I got to go and see her while time is short. But then that's when they find things out. So she wakes up at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Pretty cutie, I'm going to say, man. Cutie. That guy did well for himself.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, he goes, I'm going back to bed, whatever. And then she just goes there on her own. And then it goes to that scene then where you've got some of the patients got like this little fucking metal thing, like a little rod in their head. And then you got the fucking husband guy who's been captured now, like, looks like something from the fucking Wizard of Oz. What is that? Oh, fucking no, he's stuck in like some little plastic thing with like a big fucking bucket thing on his head and like, I don't know, like a big clown thing around his neck. So Caligari at this stage now has got the libido from his wife, and what she's doing is injecting it into people's heads. So you got the guy I liked, I thought the funny guy, the really funny actor, one of the women there, she puts into the woman's head, and then I think that's what makes her kind of become the woman as well. It transfers her into the wife, and doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He's giving her libido, and she's all like, or like, ooh, getting turned on, but then turns evil. And then she goes to the guy I like, the one who's funny, does the same thing to him, and then he instantly turns into her. It's like, because we weren't sure, is it turning him into like, you know, different things? It goes,
Transgender.
yeah, because there's like elements of that, and we didn't fucking know, which I think it is, because later on it goes in. But yeah, he's all of a sudden now her, because he's like, oh, sweetheart, and he's all like that, and he's completely like become acting like a woman in every way, isn't he? Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And so we're like, what the fuck? So she's injecting them in the head. Straight to the forehead. Ah! Look at this guy.
Cuckoo. I've got frenzy feet.
The one nurse then just starts going, oh, you know, what's going on with all this? Like, speaks to some of the patients who are like, oh, you got to go to the basement where they're doing all the weird experiments. She goes down there, and that's where then the one funny guy thought he has a long segment then, but where he's just like acting like a woman, and this segment goes on for ages. There's two women in the bed. And he's just rummaging through shit. It just goes on for a long time, this scene, doesn't it? Is there anything worth adding? There's some funny moments with him. I think I laughed. He's like, yep, fucking even though this is 89, 2022, still the same thing. Some shit never changes. Like, you know what I mean? Some of them kind of things.
Yeah, yeah.
This film is so ahead of its time. How often do you hear that term toxic when they speaking about men? Fucking everywhere. They fucking paid this guy a fair amount of money to do this. Let's speak about the scene then because we skipped it till this part. So the next notable scene was like when the husband is being kidnapped. At one point he's put into the cell where he sees his own wife, who's like there's someone guys who had already been transformed earlier. Because I was like, is that a guy like pretending to be a woman? This is earlier in the film. Explain that now, because you're on about the arm. You explain that scene, bro. When he sees her, what happens, bro?
Well, I was gonna say the poor guy. He deserved it, really, like because, well, he just obviously deserved it. He was a douchebag, but his wife, that burnt her arm with the scarecrow, her arm mutated into a giant dick.
Yeah, like a flesh club.
Yeah, just a bat, and just fucking, she shoved it straight up his butthole.
Luckily, you don't see a close up or nothing,
No.
But it's out of nowhere because he comes in and she's like that. And it's like, what the fuck? Why has she got like a mutated arm? Like, again, very David Lynchy. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the way it cuts to it, because then she's come up to him, he's like, no. And it cuts to him, he's like kind of bent over and she just goes like that really quick. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And you just hear him scream, and luckily it cuts off there. What the fuck is that?
What's the matter? Don't you like it?
I was gonna.
That came out of nowhere.
It did pop my mind, but I was like, nah, definitely.
We got to mention that earlier because obviously that's why he's having a bad time. And he's like, fuck, Then the next thing, something really bad happens to him later on. Then, so he's fucking in a cell when he's getting chased down. This is when we get into this point. And the guy who I was on about, who gets the injection in his head, who starts acting like a woman, gets into a cell with him, doesn't he? And then he's all like, well, you're going to have to satisfy me. And it's like, oh, not again. And then grabs him by the throat and he gets choked down the bottom. You're like, this fucking guy is having the worst time ever. Really fucking, like, poor fucking guy. Twice this guy's been like sexually abused, in the film.
Oh god.
And then, do you want to explain this fucking scene? What it goes into, Joe? How explain explain the screenshot.
Well, it's just Dr. Caligari just chilling by a laboratory, and the guy she turned transgender is sucking a muff, like,
Yep,
going for it.
she's just there chilling, and who comes in to see it?
Oh, his own daughter.
His own fucking daughter, the fucking doctor.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my god, what have you done?" And then Caligari's like, "Can't you see? He is mine now." And then he's like, and they just come and go, like, he's fighting. He looks like the Joker, doesn't he? The way his like paint is. And then he comes on to his own daughter. He's laying kind of on top of her, and we're like, "Oh, dude, you're not going to go there."
Like face to face after you just licked him up, so his breath probably stinks of pussy.
Oh yeah, 100% would, like, you know what I mean? Caligari's fucking pussy. So then, yeah, he's taking her out, and we're like, no. And as he takes her fucking out the room, or as she's going, like, come on, we gotta go. Caligari even says something about incest, like, oh, we don't want none of that now, but then looks into the camera smirking, like, as if to say, oh, are you into that? So then she's walking off, and her dad's literally trying it on with her and all that, like rubbing her up, and it's like, what? This is fucked, like. And then she looks and sees, like, like a luggage thing where you put, like, what they call the fucking, it's a thing the Joker, they put the Joker on when he's in the ward, like, you know what I mean? Like, and you can wheel it.
Yeah.
She sees one in the next scene. She's just got her dad tied up. You're like, how the fuck? It don't show how she overpowered her dad and tied her up.
What thing?
Oh, please. This can't be happening.
I know. Our little Babs just can't control herself.
Dad, I'm getting you out of here.
This is fucking bad.
It's like
You can't listen to me.
incense with And incest with.
Why is she so calm about it? There's a scene then where Caligari uncovers a jar with a huge head and he goes, "This is the original Caligari, my uncle. Now I've learned this libido thing works. I'm going to do something with this brain." And we're like, okay, so what's she going to do with Caligari's main fucking brain? Whatever. So the woman's running around then with her father. There's a long ass scene where they go through loads of patients. It takes fucking ages just to show there's more patients there.
Yeah, she's becoming more successful in her work somehow, I think, because, there's more patients there. And she mentioned because of her work, she was going to be promoted as well.
Yeah, they do mention that as well. So at this stage now, because she's converted thingy, no one's there to fucking stop her now. She's unstoppable, basically.
Got loads of patients now.
No. Fucking Joker, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then, like, she leaves with her boyfriend guy because he, like, shoves someone away from the door. And then she basically says, "Shit's going down, we have to stop it now." And then he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go and kill them." Or something like that, "I'll end it all," like, or some shit like that, doesn't he?
Mhm.
And then there's a little scene where he goes, "Who is that?" And it's like, "That's my father-in-law." And then the father-in-law, the guy, is all like, "Oh, you're lush," and all that. And he's like, "What? Oh, on earth," and all that, which a little bit funny. I'll give him that. That was a bit of a funny scene. He was just like, the fuck, like. So he's just basically like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and get Caligari." Goes to Caligari with a fucking drill now, doing her own thing in the head to inject the brain libido of the original Caligari to make her, I guess, have all his knowledge and put Caligari in her, because I guess it changes you into the original person. That's what it implies.
Gives you the genetics and stuff.
But then as she's about to fucking do it, that blonde bird from earlier who she injected comes in to stop her, and she goes, "Ah, you won't." So she injects her in the head with some libido. I guess it's the woman's libido left from earlier. Takes the needle, injects Caligari into her now. So Caligari's granddaughter never got the one she wanted. She got the other one. And we're like, "Oh shit." And then the guy's just kind of looking, doing nothing about it. And he's like, "Oh dear. Oh my god. Oh dear." And then it kind of just then goes out to the
Oh my
guy,
god.
the Joker guy, and he has a little monologue, and it's just
Disturbing.
yeah. I was thinking you could never pay this guy enough money to have ever been in this film, ever. Like a poor guy, like, you know, if you ever look back at this film, like what the fuck?
So I can stay.
You reckon this actor looks back on this film and fucking fully regrets it?
Probably.
And then yeah, so it goes then to the woman who was the one we saw originally, wasn't it? Like we were following with the who got her tits out in the beginning. Oh, sorry, not the one who was a blonde bird. Sorry, my bad. She's on the table now with the yellow thing because she's got black hair. She's become Caligari now because she injected her head, didn't she? And then the woman who was playing the Dr. Caligari is under her in this little like house she's laying on, like kind of thing in a gate, isn't it? Do you want to explain this? Nothing to explain. She Caligari's basically like, "Oh, well, I have all the knowledge in a sense." Woman's down there and she goes, "Ah, you can tell a lot from a squeal." And she goes, "How does it feel knowing that I am the new Caligari," basically? And then while the main Caligari's there, like, no, it can't be this way. Cuts to the end, credits.
Yeah.
What? That was the end? That was it?
Didn't expect it to end there, did we?
No, loads of unanswered questions. Why do they act like robots? What was the point of all the mutations happening? So many unanswered questions.
What was the point of the film? Like?
What was the point of the film was the main one. But I think we covered most of that the best we can.
Yeah.
Again, a very
definitely.
fucking
You did
strange,
a good job.
very strange film, this, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. One of the strangest films I've ever seen.
You know, so I'll give it props for that. Like, but yeah, I'll let you just give you a little rundown and what you think about DUD or SPUD, my friend.
Yeah, it was like parts of it were really good. Like, the shapes of the doors and it was all funky and a lot of work got put behind it, the styles. You know, it was really dark, kind of style, but the overall feel of the film was just a bit boring. Just a bit boring because it had no plot really. Well, no significant plot. It just wasn't going nowhere. It was just a boring film to watch. And even though I kind of I appreciate like it went for something different, I just yeah, I don't know how to feel about it really.
So dead or spud, really, mate. What do you say ultimately?
You know, it was a close one, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give her a dud.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Like the thing like similar thing to you, mate. I appreciate he was trying to be different. You know, there were some cool moments, some cool effects. As you said, with some of the transitions, some genuinely little funny moments in there. But again, overall, a lot of it might be my ignorance. I didn't understand it. I get most of the tone, like, you know, it's like very sexual. He's sexually frustrated. Like, you know, I get a lot of that sort of stuff that you're going on about with the tone. They were trying to justify. That's why she's constantly fucking obsessed with orgasms. You know, husband ain't giving her what she needs. But the husband was a little bitch at the same time, so I had no sympathy for him. Like, you know, what I mean? Whatever, but. Yeah, you know, might be other people's kind of cup of tea, but again, I'll say close, because I don't think by all means it was like, you know, either amazing or terrible. Not really my cup of tea though, so I will just say a dud, but if someone's like said they liked it and they appreciate it, yeah, maybe it might be for other people, but for me, I'd say probably a dud, just because there was a bit too many boring moments and some of the monologue went on a bit long. He was like, oh, I get what you're saying now, you kind of repeating yourself here, you know. Put more of the gore things in there and more of the mad shit going on. Would it give you a
more interesting things to?
Yeah, it was just some of the monologues I think were so drawn out for an hour and 20-minute film. You're like, it's like fucking like 40 minutes of just monologues, and then the rest of it is probably more than that. It's like an hour of monologues and 20 minutes of interesting / weird stuff in it.
And the monologue was senseless, really.
A lot of it was, yeah. It was like a lot of the same shit, wasn't it? Like, you know, yeah, cool, I get it. You know, go fucking get a hooker. That's what they're there for. If that's how you feel. Go to a club. It's not the hardest thing to do, really, is it? But
no.
Anyway, I've been Maniacal Mac.
I'm in Sister May.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time, peace out.
Yeah, peace.
Man, you know what I said? It's only an hour and 20 minutes. It's not gonna feel long. Oh, brother, this is gonna feel like a 20-hour film, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be a mind break for like the whole film.
I wouldn't mind if it was. You know, I'm not going to speak too early, but if it's good, you know, like a Razorhead, mindfuck of a film, but I'm happy I watched it. I got a feeling. This one.
I think you changed her, but I'm not going to risk my wife just so you can get your puss in psychology.
It feels like he's the only one so far who's actually trying to act.
Yeah,
like
she's definitely not acting. She's script reading.
Yeah, I think Dr. Caligari's partially drunk or something. She's just woken up.
So unbelievable.
The audio quality is fucking terrible, isn't it? Like some scenes I can hear them clearly. Other scenes, it's like when you got more than one person, they're all sharing a mic. When you got one, do you reckon they had one mic for the whole production?
I don't know what they done wrong, but yeah, it could be.
The Matrix, bro, just neoed him. He's been all nailed up, bro. The agents have got him. I feel you, bro. I feel you. We're so far in now, but we've just got to commit to it, innit?
Yeah.
It's times like this when you know who your real friends are, when you go through battles in life where it's just like, we can both make this, bro. You know what I mean?
Maniacal Mac.